Kate Gable Bright, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Dan. Good to be here.
And good to see you, my friend. Hey, before we dig in, I'm wondering if you could tell us about your company, Virtual KGB. What is it exactly and the value that you provide your clients?
Yeah, absolutely. I run a virtual assistant service. And so I save time and money for founders and CEOs by organizing the chaos and getting it all done virtually.
So, one of the things I noticed when I was doing my research is that work with a lot of you work with a lot of startup company founders. And prior to founding Virtual KGB, you yourself had founded and grown your own experiential marketing agency. How has your founder experience influenced your process in providing virtual assistants and the assignments that you take on for your founders?
Yeah, no, that's right. So my experience as a founder is definitely the foundation of what I do and the basis for starting the company. I think that running my own agency for 10 years gave me the insight of what was really needed. And it was always hard to find someone that really got it, that could really think with my mindset and understood everything that I was going through as a business owner or founder or CEO, all the worries that I had, what kept me up at night.
Mm.
And it's hard to find people that are reliable and that kind of just really would roll up their sleeves and jump in and do all the things that it takes to be an entrepreneur. So that is the foundation of why I started Virtual KGB, is to provide um, all those that type of service for my clients.
So, I imagine that a formality of your business is a formal client input meeting. And I'm wondering if in that meeting you discover the things that most vex your prospects. And what are those things that vex them, that keep them up at night?
Yes, definitely. Part of the process of onboarding a client is really, getting to know them and their business. I would say definitely not having enough time in the day. And there's so many moving parts now to running a business. Not only you have to be online and you have to be all in different areas all at once. And so it can be very overwhelming. And so I would say that's the biggest problem that I hear from clients is not only time, but just feeling generally overwhelmed of how are they going to get it all done and then organizing it all. And so that's what I love to do. Absolutely. I love to come at it from their point of view, and I don't need much training, and I'm that type of person that can just jump in and run with it. So
But I would imagine, being a former founder yourself and understanding that the brand building process is really critical. I would
yeah.
imagine you get involved in brand awareness for your clients a lot. What are some of the things that you do for them?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that my, specialty is business development. I think that a lot of companies overlook the clients that they already have. And so I don't want my clients to spend a lot of time and extra money when they have some great roots, a great foundation, and a great core of clients. So it's kind of a rinse and repeat strategy of looking at who their clients are, who their best clients have been, and or customers, and finding more like them, and also making sure that their process internally is growing that business from the clients and customers that they already have. I think that's really overlooked. And so I would say that's my specialty, is work from the inside out, but then also obviously incorporating marketing and social media campaigns. And
So delve a little deeper into that as far as working with the clients that they already have. Is that something having come out of sales at one point in my career, I understand that the value of an existing client is different than a value of a new business prospect. The new business prospect is very expensive to court, and the process in doing so is different than, let's say, uh, perpetuating the good business that comes from valuable clients. So
right.
I'm wondering, how do you, when you have a situation with a client and they've got new business needs and they've got existing client needs,
Mhm.
how do you help them figure out the jumble, that organizing the jumble of, well, business is business, and getting through that, and recognizing existing clients have to be managed a different way? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, exactly. I completely agree. It was so eye-opening for me when I was running my own business, is to see the value in business development and nurturing the clients and the great clients that you have and growing them, because it's very expensive, time consuming, and it takes more resources to gain new clients. And customer service is definitely dying these days. And so clients and customers really feel that value when you're catering to them, when you make them feel special, they're coming back to you. And the way that I look at it with my clients is I look at their overall team, and we figure out, okay, who is doing what and who can do what. Who of your team can man some of your existing clients, and then what can that owner and founder be doing as well. So it's divvying up the responsibilities and looking at the overall structure of the company.
So, so being a virtual assistant in your vein isn't just doing execution. It's really more higher end strategy of working with the assets already in place and helping the founder to figure out who does what when they do it.
Yeah, I would say I'm definitely a hybrid, between between strategy but also execution. I'm very good at doing all just the little things as well that person does not want to do. Writing up proposals, or research, design, copy, marketing, all of those types of things I love to do. And I definitely, that's a huge asset, is having someone that almost works as almost works as a business partner in a way, temporarily, right? To strategize and bounce ideas off each other, but then also someone that's going to go and do the work too. Hmm.
Indeed. So you mentioned the time aspect, that some of your prospects come to you and say, Kate, I just don't have enough hours in the day to do all of these deliverables. I
Right.
would imagine you also have people that don't recognize that they can't do it all. So how do you make your value proposition ring in their ears positively when they can't even see the forest for the trees themselves?
Right. Yes, that's definitely huge. I think the misconception is that a lot of people think is that they have to be organized first before they bring someone on, like myself.
Hmm.
They have to get things perfect or aligned, but it's definitely not the case. And I definitely, I help them take a step back and realize that someone like me can just jump in and run with it without them having to get things perfect first. There's no such thing as perfect, and in running a business, there are some things that you have to step away from so that you can concentrate on what you do best. And I think explaining that really is a light bulb. Whereas, time is money. And so they need to be spending their time on what is going to bring in the most revenue for the company, and leave the other things to someone else.
I think one of the challenges you probably have is that most people don't understand the true value of a virtual assistant. They might think, I don't need an assistant. I answer my own phone. And that's kind of silly,
Right.
but you do so much more. And I think a lot of that comes out of your agency experience. I know I had that too in the agency experience: account management, P&L,
Mhm.
digital marketing expertise, things like that. So I'm wondering, Kate, if you can give me an idea and give our podcast listeners an idea of some of the really cool things that you can do for a client, some of the projects that you've done that have been, really exciting.
Yeah, well, there's been so many. It's really been a lot of fun. But I would say launching a brand from start to seeing it on Amazon and selling it through. That's been exciting. So handling the launch from start to finish, and promoting the brand, getting it out there, and continuing to manage that and manage the all the day to day, which has been a lot of fun. And then also working with clients to grow their business internally, especially with the business development. So for instance, I had a client who, she's pivoted during the pandemic, and she's been very successful, but everything happened so fast that she hadn't even gotten a chance to take a step back and regroup. And so I was really happy to be part of that with her, to just take a breath and figure out, okay, what's going to be the strategy for 2021 and beyond in terms of business development and where she can expand. So that's been fun. And then also working with solopreneurs who, really miss that excitement and energy of working with the team and just need that, extra oomph to get going and get on their to-dos. And, so keeping them on track of their goals and where they want to go and be. So those are some exciting opportunities I've had.
Well, having been a solopreneur now for over 25 years, I understand what it's like to, feel isolated and not close to the people that might be helping you with strategy and execution. There's also something else, and it's come out of the pandemic. And I'll use my wife, Marcia, as an example. She's a school teacher, but she's running a thriving vintage clothing business on Etsy and Poshmark and several other channels. I would imagine you may, if you've not already, hear from people like my wife who say, I really have a passion to do this kind of a business online, but I don't know how to get out of my own skin of being, let's say, a school teacher and organizing the logistics and the fulfillment and the product placement and the price points and how to photograph merchandise and stuff like that. Have you had any experience like that, Kate, in terms of helping people kind of get out of their old skin into maybe a side hustle that ends up becoming a launch business?
Yeah, absolutely. That brand that I was speaking about came out of a side hustle, and it's been really fun because I think that is the one thing that has come out of all this, is that we're all now willing to take a chance and say, hey, why not? This is something that's been inside of me, and I passion that I want to follow. And so I've definitely had experience with that. And I think that people are looking for something different and maybe wanting to venture out of their normal day to day. Absolutely. And
So,